Hey guys, welcome back. Today's episode, jumping into the Honda again, so let's get into it. As you would have seen last episode, we jumped in and pulled this thing out. Got rid of the automatic transmission, right in the bin, because that's where it belongs, plus it was blown up, so it wasn't going to help me. And what I ended up doing is I ended up pulling all the other little wiring bits off the other, pulled up all the other wiring pieces off the old transmission before I threw it in the bin. I just put all the solenoids and everything else, so any connectors or anything where the wire connected into the transmission I took off and kept. I don't know if I'll have to use them or anything else. I just thought might as well keep them. They're here. To do anything with them, I can just keep them, and also so I know where the wiring goes. Makes it a bit easier than trying to fumble about with a gearbox that doesn't have them compared to a transmission that had all this extra wiring. But what I've also done is this wiring loom that comes in here. We're going to pull out this episode so I can marry it up with the other gearbox wiring loom, engine wiring loom that I got with the manual engine. So hopefully with the auto wiring and the manual wiring, we should be able to come up with one that's going to do what I need. I'm not 100% sure. This is the first time trying to do this. I tried to research on the internet. I couldn't find anything. Not saying it hasn't been done, just that I couldn't find it, which could mean anything. But in this episode, we need that wiring out, as well as I think we're going to start on trying to get this clutch pedal in. So to start with, we're going to come around here. I'm going to pull the driver's seat out, probably the passenger one out, so I can get into the underneath of there, and we're going to play in here. So hopefully we can work out how it's going to sit in there and bolt up. This, as I was saying in the last one, the brake pedal I'm going to have to narrow so it's a normal size, and then I think I'm going to put a kink in that piece, and so it comes out a little bit closer to here, which then will give me plenty of room for the clutch pedal to go in. I did freak out a little bit with the handbrake, which then pushes down there, but with it out of the way, there's plenty of room for my foot to go down there, and not an issue of pressing on the handbrake while I'm driving. Rod is the one who helped me with that one. I just didn't notice, and he was like, oh, but it'd be out of the way, and so perfect. So to start this episode, we're going to jump in there, pull these seats out, clean it out a little bit. I think I want to pull the carpet out as well. If we get enough time, I want to just, I guess, roll it back as well, so if I have to do any welding or anything else, I'm not burning holes in the carpet, because I would like to keep this carpet, but I want to stain it black. And being cream should be nice and easy to do, but I don't want any holes in it. So that's the first up. So seats, carpet rolled back, everything else, have a look, see what we can do. Oh damn. Okay, so definitely a kid's car. Got some Lego blocks. Lego, not Legos. You don't say the S, it's Lego. A few other random bits and pieces. That bit of mold, some more Lego, I think. Yep. I can go up there. Someone messaging me. Some random stuff. Definitely need to get the vacuum in here and clean this up. And now, yeah, heaps of junk. But now I'm going to rip that one out, get some more activity space going on here, and see what we can get up to. Okay, CD, head deck, what is it called? It is CD holder. It's gonna come out. Pretty good home. There we go. Got it. Or, as Rich says on the Boss Garage, be on eBay. A cheap $500. Bloody hell, these things are heavy. Okay, a little bit of a clean up and a vacuum, and let's get in there. Okay, a short time later, I have most of the carpet ready to go. So, best way to do it, take these two seal plates off, both front and back, then the seatbelt cover, then this piece comes up. Actually, before that piece comes up, the pinch weld from here comes off. You pull that out. There's a few little pieces up the back here, they pulled off. I did the same on the other side, as you can tell. And then now it should come out. So, oh, actually, there is the foot pedal, footrest I am fighting with. But then we should be able to pull this out. Stash of pens. There's so much more out here than I thought. Okay, so take this piece off, get this out of the way, get the pedal out of the way, and jump under there and have a look. The only reason I'm pulling this piece is I feel that I'm going to crush it if I don't. Look at this. I recently found out in Japan they have a 4-wheel drive. Oh, I'd love one, but only a stinking 2-wheel drive here. So, Jesus, longest holding in there. Okay. Let me have a look and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so not too bad, some ups and some downs. So let's get you in there and have a look. So I've just been fighting around in here for the last little while. And so as you can see, I had to pull the handbrake mounts off those two bolts there. There's another bolt at the top. That little hole there is what I think is going to be my perfect position to put the clutch slave or the clutch mount. So I think that's going to be the best spot for it. I've just measured everything. That's as far as I can get it this way towards the steering column because of where the brake booster sits. As you can see, that bulge in the middle there, that's where the edge of the booster sits in the firewall. So that's as close as I can get it with able to get the actual master cylinder, sorry, I should say master cylinder, on the back side. And so I think it's as close as I can get it to where it needs to be. It's as high as I can get it as well, because I need to get it as high as I can to get away from the handbrake, which is here, which I think I'm going to have to modify a little bit because it's probably going to hit. But I'm thinking what I can do is I can take those studs out, those two there, put some longer ones on it, and then pull the handbrake out a little bit. Hopefully it should get me to where I need to be. So, but my main thought is get the clutch in. The handbrake, I'm thinking if all hell fails, I'll put a hand brake on the floor between the two front seats in here somewhere, and the handbrake cable runs over there. So I don't know if it's going to work, but that's my only other option at the moment because I'm running out of real estate. But with the handbrake up there, sorry, with the clutch up there, the pedal sits in a weird spot, so I'm going to have to modify that pedal anyway, this pedal, so they'll both be one-offs. Sorry, phone buzzing. So yeah, going to have to modify them all to get them in there, but it should be okay. And I'll take you around to the other side. Sorry if there's a lot of talking, but it's just what I'm thinking. So as you can see, there's the master cylinder. That little hole is the center of this piece. So it's the center of that. I get this level, which is, from what I can tell, is how that sits. That sits level with this piece, with that plane there. being level with the car, which is how I've set that one. I'll flip it the other way, that makes sense. To have it like that, and it should be pretty good. So with it in there, I think it should look alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill this hole, put it in there, which is pretty much the only place I can put it. Mark those 2 holes, put those in, and then kind of bolt it in there and see how it sits. I'm going to have to make a little bit of spacer on each side because of the way the firewall is a little bit bent, especially near the master cylinder. It tips over, so if I need to build a little bit there, that's fine. And then I will make a new mount for up the top here. A little bit of faffing around, but we're getting there. So I'm going to jump in to drill on those holes. Hopefully they work. We can mount the clutch up and see how it looks. I'm definitely going to have to chop this pedal up, so once it's in, it is going to look a bit funny. But let's get into it. Okay, so holes are drilled, everything looks really nice, except I did them backwards. So it goes in upside down. So now I'm going to drill some more holes. Idiot. Take 2. We have extra holes, so that's a bit of a pain in the butt, but I got them there. So now this thing slots in there like that. So I'll leave that one in there. I've got the pedal, some nuts, I'm going to chuck them on and then I'll show you how it... Man, what a job. Okay, so you need midget fingers and not these big paddles to get up into the top of the pedal box. Pedal area, that bit. Oh damn, I need a torch. 2 secs. Okay, so we're back. Yeah, well you need tiny little fingers, apparently. Well actually I should have known that, considering I didn't do a very good job of... Get in there. There we go. So, up in there, that's the brake. So up in there, this pedal here with that little switch on it, that's the new clutch location. So I put it there. Those 2 bolts just there are the handbrake. So what I have worked out is, because this pedal leans a little bit to the passenger side, I'm going to space it up a little bit, and then that handbrake should hopefully tick up there, click up in there, and it should all work. And then the next part, so as we can see, the pedals are a little all over the shop. So you got clutch up there, brake and accelerator. So what my plan is, I put a little mark up the back there. I'm going to chop it off, bend up some nice big flat plate steel, same size as this, so I think it's 4mm or 5mm by like 40. So I'll get some of that from the shop during the week and make a new piece that comes down here. This piece I want to heat up and move across a little bit so we can move the whole pedal set just a little bit closer together, just so it's a little bit nicer. I don't really want to push it all too far this way, but just to have the brake a little bit closer here and then the clutch a little bit closer to that, it should be a little bit nicer and keep me away from the handbrake. But as I said before, having it clicked up when in drive, it shouldn't be an issue. So now that's all there. Everything else is looking pretty nice. I didn't find any rust, which is good. Not that I was expecting it, but you always got to double check. And then, so I pull you around into the front. And up in here, we have the new clutch master up in there. Sits all nicely after I drilled 2 of the wrong holes and had to redo them, which, yeah, it was a bit of a pain in the butt. That was my fault. I didn't flip it over, and so yeah, I ended up with 4 holes instead of 2. But I'll fix that. I'm gonna have to weld some other little bits in there, so I might as well zop them up and get them sorted. One other thing I did do as well, I pulled the wiring loom out of here because I want to check it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to just bypass the transmission that was in it and just not use it and have engine codes, and then hopefully I have a tuner friend who should be able to turn them off. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work. I haven't really talked to him about it, but it looks like I should be able to. If not, looks like I'll have to go a standalone system, which will be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it should be okay. I have 2 looms. I have an auto loom and a manual loom, so I should be able to, in one way, use one of the others to wire it all up. But looking pretty good. So next up, thinking I'm going to run the cables for the gearbox that run up into there. So I pulled the original one out, which is for the auto, and it's got a nice little, actually I'll show you, it's got a nice little hole just in between there, you can kind of see it. And so what I'm thinking is, actually there you go, what I'm thinking is I should be able to get the manual lines to come up through there, and I'm going to build a little shifter system that sits in here. There's a heap of bolt holes in there that I should be able to use. I mean, it should be pretty good. So I think that'll do for this episode, if I don't come out here in a little bit and put those shifter lines in. So if not, thank you, I appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.